the essential verses, 4 seed verses called Chaturshloki Srimad Bhagavatam. I'll just share the document. So we'll continue where we left off yesterday. Text 35. From Chaitanya Charitamrita we have seen proper translating. So we'll continue. Of course, yesterday we just recapped what was going on. So we'll continue from wherever we left off yesterday. Of course, the summary, 34th verse, basically explaining how Lord's energies, especially 2 energies, the Mahamaya and the Yogamaya. Lord has multifarious energies. Some of them, these are Yogamaya and Mahamaya, are the 2 energies. So how they are manifesting, how they are working, we discussed yesterday. So unless we see anything in connection with the Lord, even though if it has some value, ardham, even though it has some value, but if we disconnect from the Lord, then that is called Maya. So yesterday mainly we discussed about the Mahamaya. How Mahamaya covers by Avaranatmika Shakti and Prakshepatmika Shakti. These are the 2 phases of Mahamaya. How living entities are covered. We understood from the example of theater how this covers. And from the philosophical point of view, the shloka itself mentions that yada bhaso yata tamaha, yada bhaso yata tamaha. Here, example also, analogy also given, just like a darkness, just as a reflection and darkness. Yada bhaso yata tamaha. So especially Prabhupada took Shridhar Swami's understanding of abhas. Abhas means reflection. Here reflection is referred as, just like we read yesterday, reflection is the living entities, because they reflect the light of the sun. If sun is compared to Supreme Lord, then the reflections are compared to all the living entities. And tamaha, the darkness, is the matter. Jagat is taken as Jagat. Abhasa is Jiva, and Jagadish, the Supreme Lord. So in this way he analyzed, and Prabhupada also mostly Swami's commentary. That's so. Prabhupada also later we mentioned that we should not take the reflective personalities, those who are showing some kind of reflection in this world. We should not take shelter of them in order to understand the sun. Rather, we should directly take the shelter of the sun, or those persons who are following the Supreme Lord himself, not those who are trying to be independent of the sun, show their own reflective light. Means the living entities who are themselves imagining themselves as the Supreme Lord, or they are independent of the Supreme Lord. So we should not take shelter, in the sense we should not hear them, we should not associate with them. That's what we have seen yesterday. Otherwise we will be in Maya. So that's the main point yesterday. So the moment we divert ourselves, not divert, but we turn away from the sun, immediately we see either shadow or the reflection, both. If there is a pot is there, even in the pot, the reflective sun can be seen. Or if you are not seeing the pot, if you turn away from the sun, there is also a shadow will be there. So both these exist only when we turn away from the sun, right? Then only abhas and tamaha, both are the reflection and the darkness only seen when we turn away from the Supreme Lord. So the moment we turn away, then we are in Maya, in Mahamaya, covered by Mahamaya. So in Mahamaya we see either reflections or the darkness. So yesterday we have seen how darkness means there is no, people don't agree for the existence of God himself because they turn away from God. Rather, we also not that much aware of the existence of God in terms of our relationship, in terms of accepting Him, in terms of inviting Him into our life, in terms of worshipping Him, serving Him. So we are all in darkness because we turned away from Krishna. That is one phase. And another thing is reflective. We see many personalities, many things in this world as the reflective energy of the Supreme Lord. Because we turned away, we see many reflective energies in the sense that all these vibhutis we see, whatever we see in this world, are the reflections of the Supreme Lord. So unless we see the connection between this reflection with the Supreme Lord, we will be caught up in Maya, the Mahamaya. Just like we see an example of Ravana and Sita and Lord Ram. So that's how the moment we turn again back to the sun, then there is no question of reflection nor the darkness. Then you will be in Yogamaya. We are connected to Supreme Lord. So that's how this question was answered. What are the two energies? What are the energies? How your energies are manifesting? How they are working is answered here by Supreme Lord himself. By these two verses, Anvaya and Vyatireka, by explaining about himself, his own form and his energies, he gave a complete realization to Brahmaji. Jnana and Vijnana are explained to Brahmaji. By that Sambandha Jnana, Sambandha means Sambandha about the relationship of his own form with himself, how he was existing before creation, how he is existing after creation, how he will be existing after the dissolution of creation. So that Sambandha Jnana is given. Also, Sambandha Jnana of the energies is given according to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Sambandha Prayojana Navijaya. So 33 and 34 we completed. So then the 35 we just started. 35 is Rahasyam. We will start the commentary from Srimad Bhagavatam 2.9. Tata mahanti bhutani bhuteshu chavasheshvanu pravishhtanya pravishtani tata teshu natveshvaham. Please read translation.
O Brahma, please know that the universal elements enter into the cosmos and at the same time do not enter into the cosmos. Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created, and at that same time I am outside of everything.
Yeah. So this verse, the third verse in the Shloki, according to Brahmaji's question, this is Kridasi, how you are playing with your energies. Katham Kridasi, how you play with your energies. This is answered. By reading translation, what Kridasi? I mean, nothing is understood. How is playing with energies? Generally, when we ask question, how you play, then I am playing like this, or I play like that. That's the kind of answer we expect. But it seems that he just gave analogy that I am just like elements are entering into universe, and at the same time they are behind. They are in a store. Similarly, I also enter. At the same time, I don't enter. So that's how it's explained, and it's called Rasyam, Prema Bhakti. What is Prema Bhakti here in translation? So only by the revelation by acharyas, revelation by great devotees only we can understand the in-depth meaning, what exactly the verse is conveying. So from the Deva Swami point of view, and Srila Swami also mentions about how Rahasyam, in the first verse itself, text 31 itself, Jnanam Paramaguhyam me yat Vijnanam Samanvitam Sarahasyam. When he said Sarahasyam, then he translates Rahasyam as Bhakti itself, Sridhar Swami himself. So in the same lines, Jai Goswami also. So this verse Rahasyam is called Bhakti and exclusively Prema Bhakti, because the next verse gives the different angas, different kind of practices. That's why it is a Prema Bhakti, and the next is Sadhana Bhakti. So Rahasyam, how it is Rahasyam, we will see now. Of course, Prabhupada may not clearly make it a distinctive point, but according to the Jai Swami and Vishnu Thakur, that it's representing Prema Bhakti. How it is, we will see. Of course, let us see the verse and then we will try to read the Prabhupada purport. So Yata Mahanti Bhutani, just like all the elements, Bhutani, all the elements, all the 5 elements and the subtle elements, 8 elements, universal Mahanti, universal elements. Bhuteshu Uchavasheshu. Uchavasheshu means either minute or gigantic. Everywhere they enter, just as all the universal elements, 8 elements, enter into both minute and gigantic, or enter into the personalities like demigods, and also enter into very insignificant like a blade of grass, like this. Any meaning. Ucha avasheshu, ucha avasheshu, ucha nicha, ucha avasheshu. Just like that, anu after that. Pravishtana pravishtani. They enter and also not enter. Pravishtani, they enter, and also pravishtani, they don't enter. How? So because the elements, all the elements, just like the Mahat Tattva, the Pradhana, when Lord glances on Pradhana, I think you might have gone through the creation aspect in the second canto, at least some understanding of creation. So when Lord glances on Pradhana, then it becomes Mahat Tattva, agitated by modes with time, and then false ego comes out, and false ego with interaction of mode of goodness, and mode of passion, mode of ignorance, all the material elements forms, intelligence and mind. They gradually, since devatas, all these they will manifest. These are all elements manifest, right? So now the elements also after secondary creation they enter into Brahmaji uses all the elements and the bodies are formed. At the same time, they are there with Adhisthana Shakti, Adhisthana Dhatri, Maya Shakti. So all the elements are also there. It's not that once all the living entities are created with all these elements, and now the store is empty. You might have read that our Brahmanda has a coverings of layers, the 7 layers. So all the elements on the earth, water, fire, air, ether, all these elements are at the covering of the Brahmanda also. At the same time, they enter into the Brahmanda and they give rise to different bodies from Uchavasheshu, from Lord Brahma to all the living entities. They are made up of these 8 elements. Right, the 5 gross elements and 3 subtle elements. Mind, intelligence, and false ego. So that's how all the elements are externally are present outside. At the same time, they also enter into the Brahmanda. Similarly, I also enter into creation. At the same time, I am outside of everything. Even Ishopanishad also has one beautiful verse. I don't remember exactly now. There also it says, Tanne jati, tature tadantike, tatantarasya sarvasya bahyatah. Yeah. Taddure tadantike. He is very far. He is inside. Taddure tadantike. Tannai jati. He walks but doesn't walk. He is inside. He is far away. Tadantarasya sarvasya. He is there in everything. Tad sarvasyasya bahitaha. He's staying outside of everything else, right? So that's how the omnipotency of the Lord is understood. How he enters at the same time is behind. So that's the main understanding of the verse. How he enters and how it doesn't enter. And now, how it has become a prema bhakti. Now, Acharyas explained that, especially Jiva Swami, that when we use this, the technically when we write a verse, so he says that the meaning completes by tata teshu. That's it. What you want to convey, when Lord wants to convey this meaning, that just like the elements enter into and does not enter into the creation, all the elements. Similarly, I. That's it. When you say similarly I, tata teshu, then it's a complete statement. Tata teshu, I also apravishtani, apravishtani. That's it. It's over. Natveshvaham is not necessary. As per the writing of grammatical grammar. So, tata teshu. Similarly, I also apravishtani, apravishtani. That statement is over. But nateshvaham, why used? This is called mystery. That's what Acharya explained. This is the greatest mystery. Nateshvaham, though it's not necessary grammatically in the verse, because by formulating the sentence pravishtani pravishtani tatateshu as an, then that's complete, because Lord is saying that that is meaning is conveyed, that tatateshu I also pravishtani pravishtani nateshu is not required. Natesh. So this Nateshu, this is explaining the secret mystery. How it is? He explains that Nateshu, when we combine these two terms, two words, Nateshu, or here, Nateshwaham, then the meaning changes here. Nateshu means Natamastak. Nateshu is one word and Aham is one word. So Nateshu means they are devotees. Those who are surrendered, Natamastak बोलते हैं हम हिंदी में. नतमस्तक मतलब यू आर झुकना, नतमस्तक झुक के नमस्कार करना, नतमस्तक. So Nateshu means they are those who are samarpit ho gaya, those who are surrendered to the Lord, those who are dedicated themselves to the Lord. That is also meaning of Nateshu. Nateshu means devotees. So that's how the meaning comes, Nateshu aham. So similarly, I also present in the hearts of my devotees. At the same time, I also present before them, before their divine senses, transcendental senses, in a beautiful form. I manifest before them. I enter into their hearts. At the same time, I manifest before their divine eyes, transcendental eyes, which are purified by prema. So that's how it's prema bhakti is mentioned here. Just like the elements enter into creation, and also they are apart from the creation. Similarly, I also enter into the hearts of, I manifest myself. I enter into the hearts of my devotees, and also I manifest externally also to them before their eyes, because of their love, because of their surrender, because of their dedication. So that's how the verse is conveying the meaning of prema bhakti. This is rahasyam. This is the secret mystery. Though many people read the text, but they can't understand what exactly conveying the meaning. That's what the mystery of Prema Bhakti is conveyed in this verse. That's the explanation. Of course, Prabhupada will convey the same meaning in his own way. He will just try to see how it is conveyed. Okay, some Prema Bhakti, third verse. We are reading Prema Bhakti, which is Prayojan. So in our Vaishnava terminology, Gaudiya Vaishnava terminology especially, Sambandha Vidya Prayojan are considered like three aspects of our whole Vedic scriptures are divided into these three portions. All the knowledge is conveying these three things: Sambandha, Abhidheya, and Prayojan. The Prayojan especially is about Prema Bhakti, and it's very secret. Why it is very secret and how it is secret, we will see. So there is Rahasyam, Prema Bhakti. Okay, Prabhupada now explains, starting with the analogy, how elements enter into creation at the same time outside of everything. Prabhupada explains about. Okay, we can read, I think. Yeah, please read. First para. The great elements.
Yeah. The great elements of material creation, namely earth, water, fire, air, and ether, all enter into the body of all manifested entities. The seas, mountains, aquatics, plants, reptiles, birds, beasts, human beings, demigods, and everything else materially manifested, and at the same time, such elements are differently situated. In the developed stage of consciousness, the human being can study both psychological and physical science, but the basic principle of such science are nothing but the material elements and nothing more. The body of the human being and the body of the mountain, as also the bodies of the demigods, including Brahma, are all of the same ingredients: earth, water, etc. And at the same time, the elements are beyond the body. Uh, the elements were created first and therefore entered into um, the just a sec, Prabhu. The
Are you
body
able
of
to
the
see?
human, yeah, the body of the the body of the human being and the body of the mountain are also the bodies of the demigods, including Brahma, are all of the same ingredients: earth, water, etc. And at the same time, the elements are beyond the body. The elements were created first and therefore they entered into the bodily construction later. But in both circumstances, they entered the cosmos and also did not enter.
Yeah. So Prabhupada explains the same analogy, how elements are entering and making a construction of different bodies, helping in making different bodies. So if you see, all the bodies are made of these elements, but entirely different purpose is there for different bodies. The body of human being and the body of mountain, as also the bodies of demigods, including Brahma, all of the same ingredients. At the same time, the elements are beyond the body. Definitely, we have same elements are there, but and the human uh, consciousness is entirely different. As we definitely, you might have read many times. Also, you might have spoken also that the human species is entirely different from all other species. Though the elements are appears to be same, appears to be in various degrees, elements to be same, but the human consciousness, the gross body and subtle body and soul, and all the living entities also have gross body, subtle body, and the soul. So gross body is made up of 5 elements, and subtle body is made of 3 elements, and the soul is always pure, whether it's staying in the human body or it's staying in the cat's body or tree's body. Whatever body, soul is always completely pure and aloof from the contamination of these material elements. But so, Brahmane Gavihastini Sunijaiva Swakesha Pandita Samadarshana. So where is the difference? The gross body having 5 elements, and their gross body have five elements, and we have 3 subtle elements, and they also have 3 subtle elements. All the species of life, but the impressions that they carry, they're entirely different in the subtle body. So because the impressions that are there in the subtle body are covered over to different degrees in different bodies, that's so the manifestation of consciousness will be different in different bodies. So the degree of covering is very less, as Prabhupada mentions. Its degree is more in trees and all, little less in animals, and little more less in human beings. The degree of covering. Gita also gives the example of the womb covered by the baby embryo covered by the womb, and the fire covered by the ashes. So that's how it gives coverings, different degrees of coverings. So similarly, the consciousness is covered over by different degrees of layers of this contamination. So the consciousness is covered, but the human species, as we know, that it has much evolved consciousness, it's not that much covered. So that's the main point here. Prabhupada is, of course, the highlighting that we have special opportunity to utilize that human species, though it's having same elements with comparing to all other species of life. Yes. That is the main point there. So let's continue. Similarly, the Supreme Lord, inside and outside of everything. Now he is coming to Supreme Lord. Please read. The highlight portion. Hare Krishna.
Similarly, the Supreme Lord, by his different energies, namely the internal and external, is within everything in the manifested cosmos, and at the same time, he is outside of everything, situated in the kingdom of God, Vaikuntha Loka, as described before. This is very nicely stated in Brahma Samhita 5.37 as follows. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Prativavita
प्रतिभाविताभिस्ताभि जयेव निज रूपतया कलाभि गोलोकयेव सत्य किलात्मभूतो विन्तमादिपुरुषम् अहं भजामि.
I worship the personality of Godhead, Govinda, who by the expansion of his internal potency of transcendental existence, knowledge and bliss, enjoys in his own and expanded forms in Goloka. Simultaneously, he enters into every atom of the creation. This expansion of
Continue.
plenary parts is also more definitely explained in the same Brahma Samhita 5.35 as follows. एकोऽप्सौ रचितौ रचितं जगदण्ड कोटिं यशक्तिरस्ति जगदण्ड चयायत अन्ता अंडान्तरस्थ परमाणु चयंत्रस्थम गोविंदमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. I worship the personality of Godhead, Govinda, who by one of his plenary portions enters into the existence of every universe and every particle of the atoms, and thus unlimitedly manifests his infinite energy all over the material creation.
Here Prabhupada explained the second part of the analogy, how Lord is comparing, how Lord explained that I also same similarly to the elements, similar to the elements. I also enter and doesn't enter. For that he is quoting two famous verses from Samhita. And then Prabhupada explains the real mystery, how it is rahasya. Please read.
The impersonalists can imagine or even perceive that the Supreme Brahman is thus all-pervading, and therefore they conclude that there is no possibility of his personal form. Herein lies the mystery of transcendental knowledge of the personality of Godhead. This mystery is transcendental love of Godhead, and one who is surcharged with such transcendental love of Godhead can, without difficulty, see the personality of Godhead in every atom and every movable or immovable object. And at the same time, he can see the personality of Godhead in his own abode Goloka, enjoying internal pastimes with his with his eternal associates who are also expansions of his transcendental existence. This vision is the real mystery of spiritual knowledge, as stated by the Lord in the beginning of his instructions to Brahmaji, Sarasrayam Tad Angamcha. This mystery is the most confidential part of the knowledge of the Supreme, and it is impossible for the mental speculators to discover it by the dint of intellectual gymnastics. The mystery can be revealed through the process recommended by Brahmaji in his Brahma Samhita 5.38 as follows. Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadev Hirdeshu Vilokayanti Yam Sham Sundaram Achinte Guna Swarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamham Bhajami. I worship the original personality of Godhead, Govinda, whom the pure devotees, their eyes smeared with the ointment of love of Godhead, always observe within their hearts. This Govinda, the original personality of Godhead, is Sham Sundar with all transcendental qualities.
All transcendental qualities, yeah. So here, Prabhupada, now the Rahasyam part is explained, how it is Rahasyam. How both are entering Pravishtani, Apravishtani, staying, entering and not entering. And how it is called Rahasyam. That is called Rahasyam because the mystery is the impersonalist, of course, Prabhupada explains contrasting with Brahman. The impersonalist can imagine or even perceive the Supreme Brahman is thus all pervading, and therefore they conclude that there is no possibility of his personal form. So, in one sense, if you see, they cannot say Brahman is entering and also not entering. Right? They cannot, they don't have, because Brahman is one only. There is no question of Dvitiya. So Brahman is Advitiya, Nirvikara, Nirvishesha Brahman. Advitiyam. You cannot accept. They don't accept only that Brahman is entering and also is not entering. There is no kind of that argument. So that can only applied when it's referring to the personality, because his energies, his expansions, when we understand, then it is more applicable in this light of this verse. Only when we consider the personality. Otherwise, Brahman, if only Brahman was, how it is entering in the universe and how it's not entering, because they don't consider this universe only as a illusion. How Brahman can be illusion? Brahman. So that's why they don't accept only this. They cannot fit into this verse, basically. And the concept of entering and not entering. So that Prabhupada mentioned. And then here lies the mystery of transcendent knowledge of personality of Godhead. This is the mystery. This mystery is transcendental love of Godhead. That is Prema Bhakti. This mystery is Prema Bhakti. Then how Prabhupada explains the further purport, whole purport, he explains how Lord is there within, and at the same time he can be seen without. That's what the Acharyas explained, that how the Supreme Lord enters into the hearts of the devotees. At the same time, he manifests himself before the eyes of the devotees. Of course, at what stage Krishna manifests before eyes, that is an entirely different subject matter of Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, Prem, how Krishna reveals his own different levels of revelation happens at different stages. That is, of course, that is a subject matter of Madhurika Company, how he reveals according to the advancement. But Krishna reveals. That's the main point. That to a devotee who has a prema, love of Godhead, who has imbued with love, they will definitely able to see the Sachidananda Vigraha form, Krishna manifesting before their eyes. That is mentioned here. One who is charged with such transcendent love of God can without difficulty see the personality of Godhead, even every atom and every movable and immovable object also. So he is seeing within this creation. He is able to see because of his love. As Prabhupada quoted this, Premanjana Churati Bhakti Vilochanena, that when the ointment of love is there in the eyes, then he can see everywhere his beloved object. Just like a mother sees any object belonging to the child, she immediately remembers the child because of love. Similarly, Prabhupada gave example of his own spectacles. He asked his disciples, so when you see my spectacle, what do you will see? What do you remember? Immediately Prabhupada's spectacles. So because the connection, because of the loving connection between him and Prabhupada and between the object and Prabhupada, object and the beloved personality. So anything that is belonging or possession of the beloved, immediately the remembrance and the affection or the emotion are brought out. Similarly, Prabhupada writes in Path of Perfection book that when a devotee sees this universe, he doesn't just see some trees, uh, some elements, some buildings, etc. No, he sees that my Lord's energy is expanded in this way as a tree. They are part and parcel of Lord. Because of their misuse, they are being given a different body, having a different form, just like animals or birds and bees and trees and all the matter. So he sees only the expanded energy of the Supreme Lord. There is a beautiful verse also in Chaitanya Charitamrita. I don't remember exactly now how the verse goes. The verse says that the same Prabhupada translated here that that devotee doesn't see any form of external manifestation, but he sees only his form of the beloved Krishna. That verse says, Tara Dekhi. Anybody remembers that verse? Tara Murti Dekhi, Na Dekhi. Stavara Jangama Dekhi, Na Dekhi. Stavara. 1 minute. So here, Chaitanya Charitamrita's beautiful verse. This says that.
Yeah, I got this. It's 8.274 मध्ये स्तार कब देखे ना देखी तार मूर्ति सर्वत्र हया निज इष्ट देव मूर्ति.
Yeah. So here, the Mahabhagavat, the advanced devotee certainly sees everything mobile and immobile, but he does not exactly see their forms. Rather, everywhere he immediately sees manifest the form of Supreme Lord. Stavar Jangama dekhe, na dekhe taramurti, sarvatra hoye nija, ishta deva spurti. There is a beautiful verse. How the advanced devotees, especially those who are very much imbued with the prema, with love of God, they always they are not endeavoring to see. It's just a immediate reaction, immediate manifestation for them. So that's of course, that's advanced level. We also understand that's the prema level where they see the manifestation of Supreme Lord Himself. Yeah, but in due course of time, as we grow ourselves from Nishta, Ruchi, we are trying to struggle with another Nivritti stage and gradually coming to the Nishta stage as we keep on practicing, coming to the Nishta stage. From Nishta stage, it's quite more simple, at the same time easy and not much endeavor. But coming to the Nishta stage itself is a quite an achievement. Coming to Nishta, not wavering from from devotional practices, devotional service. But definitely it's possible as we clear up all the anarthas from our hearts by practicing, by chanting, by remembering, by praying, by serving, by dedicating. So gradually we progress slowly. So then things are revealed at Prema stage. Now how it's revealed, Prabhupada will explain now. The Prema unveils the personality, Rahasyam. Please read this one.
From the highlighted, Prabhuji, highlighted portion?
Yeah, underlined.
Okay. Therefore, although he is present in every atom, the Supreme Personality of Godhead may not be visible to the dry speculators. Still, the mystery is unfolded before the eyes of pure devotees because their eyes are anointed with love of Godhead. And this love of Godhead can be attained only by the practice of transcendental loving service of the Lord and nothing else. The vision of the devotees is not ordinary, it is purified by the process of devotional service. In other words, as the universal elements are both within and without, similarly the Lord's name, form, qualities, pastimes, entourage, etc., as they are described in the revealed scriptures or as performed in the Vaikuntha lokas, far, far beyond the material cosmic manifestation, are factually being televised in the heart of the devotee. The man with a poor fund of knowledge cannot understand, although by material science one can see things far away by means of television. Factually, the spiritually developed person is able to have the television of kingdom of God always reflected within his heart. That is the mystery of knowledge of personality of Godhead.
Yeah, Prabhupada's transcendental purports ki jai. So Prabhupada using the word television because that time television was a very famous and very popular idea, radio and television and computers. So here Prabhupada, the heart is compared to, he is comparing to television. Is a televised, factually being televised in the heart of the devotee and the television of the kingdom of God. How beautiful sentences, Prabhupada. Television of kingdom of God is always reflected in the heart of the devotee. Yeah, because factually they see, they observe, they participate in the pastimes of the Lord by internal meditation. That's how everything is internally manifested in their hearts, in the devotees, pure devotees' heart. Those who are at the level of bhava and prema. So this is the mystery how prema, not for the dry speculators. Of course, Prabhupada had a point. May not be visible for the dry speculators, but he is there in everywhere. Still, mystery is unfolded before the eyes of pure devotees because their eyes are anointed with love of God. How it is to be attained? Attained only by practice of transcendental loving service and nothing else. Bhakti Yoga. Only by Bhakti Yoga, only one can come to the Prema stage. Not by Karma and Jnana and Yoga. One cannot come to the Prema stage. How Prema reveals the personality. Just like the wonderful pastime of Rasalila, when Krishna unmanifested himself. And then all the gopis are finding Krishna. So he took the form of 400 Vishnu form. So gopis are even asking Vishnu also, hey, have you seen Krishna going this way? So Vishnu replied, okay, he's showing with two hands, extra two hands, he's showing, yeah, he went like this. So all the gopis went that way. But when Radharani came, so the four hands, who was Krishna only took the four hands, manifested two extra hands and standing. He could not contain himself by seeing the devotion, the transcendental love, and the service attitude of Radharani. Krishna could not contain himself to manifest two extra forms. They automatically, by his involuntarily, they melted away. They disappeared. So Krishna manifested with 200 form. So that's the beauty of love or service attitude. Yeah, basically prema means prema, love, is the, in other words, the service attitude. The intense devotional service attitude manifested by Radharani is the topmost. That service attitude is the epitome of his service attitude is mentioned in Sikshastakam 8. The epitome of expression of the service attitude. That is such a beautiful verse, that one. It's really a higher stage, but it shows the extent and the depth of loving service attitude in all circumstances. So by that, he cannot be concealed himself. He has to reveal himself. That's how Prema unveils the personality. Just by appearance of Radharani herself, Krishna could not contain that two-handed form. Contain could not four-handed form. Immediately transformed into Krishna himself as original personality. So that's the bhakti. But there is a famous statement. Bhakti means to love. I think I don't remember. Maybe I think one of the famous sannyasis somewhere I read. So essence of prema is unconditional service attitude, as Sikshastakam 8 verse says. That verse, it's a beautiful composition. That verse saying, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not addressing to Krishna. In that verse, of course, in the mood of Radharani, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expressing. So the verse is not, it's a direct conversation with the Lord. Just like fourth verse is saying, Jagadisha, Ishvara, O Jagadish, I don't want Nadhanam, Najanam, Nasundarim, Kavitam Va, Jagadisha Kamaye, O Jagadish, O Lord, O Supreme Lord, O Almighty Lord. I don't want all these things, but I only want your unconditional bhakti, devotional service, birth after birth. So it's a direct petition to the Lord. But the 8th verse, or the beauty of 8th verse is, he's not saying to the Lord. Radharani is saying to some other gopi or some other friends. What is saying? What is he saying? Of course, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, but in terms that whatever Asrikshava Padaratam Pinashtumam Adarshanan Marmahatam Karotva Yatha Tatha Va Vidudhatulam Pato Mat Prana Natastu Sa Evana Paraha. So she's saying to, she's explaining or saying, or she's giving her confidence or her fixity, her determination. She's conveying through this verse. Sa eva naparaha. Sa means he. So this is indirect speech. Indirect speech means she is not speaking to the Lord. She is speaking to her friend, Gopi, another Gopi. So he will remain my prannath. Sa eva naparaha. No one else. Mat prananathasthu sa. Sa means he. Sa eva naparaha. He will only. So there is a beauty to the verse that when someone conveys to another person, saying that the other person is my best friend. When the friend hears this one, his emotion, his intensity will be more, right, than directly conveying to the beloved person. That shows the beauty of conveying the message in different ways. So that's the conviction and determination of Radharani to serve the unconditional love. Mat prananathasthu saivana napara. Prannath. Prannath has a very specific meaning as well. Natha. Natha means is a husband or as a protector or the guardian. Nath. Anatha and Sanatha. The Nath. The Prannath, my pran, Panch Pran. Everyone says Panch Pran. Generally we say we have Panch Prans, 5 life airs. So Prannath, uska nath hai. So he is controlling my prana. So that's so to that extent Prannath we say that one. Mat prananathasthu saivana paraha. So my Prannath hai. He is the only my Prannath. Whatever he does, whether he embraces me, whether he kills me, whether he finished too. He may be kicking on me. Whatever he does, that's up to him. But I am going to serve him always. I am going to please him, serve him. Whatever he does to me, that's up to him. But I am always look forward to serve him in all conditions. So this is the topmost platform where even one cannot even imagine, especially in current ages, servant and the Supreme Lord. The relationship between servant and Supreme Lord, that is the deepest expression. So that's unconditional love that is expressed in this verse. That's how, by that service attitude only Krishna reveals. Of course, we may not be on that platform. We are trying to come to that platform of unconditional service, but that is expressed in that verse. That is the topmost platform of that kind of love. That's how Krishna reveals here. Here, these are lines that that conveys this almost same meaning. Bhakti means to love, and to love means to serve. Loving means to serve, just like mother loves children. If she is not serving the children, then how you express the love? My dear child, I love you so much. Now there is no breakfast for you. How it is love then? So I did not prepare breakfast for you. Or I don't have any time for you. No, it's not necessarily love. So love means to serve. And to serve means to please. The essence of service is to please. Okay, I have done my service. No. Whether it is pleasing to the personality, the object of service has to be pleased. That's the meaning of service. It's not according to our terms, service. Just like the verse 6:8 verse, that's where he said it. It's not according to my terms, the service. Service means in terms of the object of service, beloved service, the pleasure of the service, pleasure of the object. So to serve means to please, and pleasing involves definitely a lot of pain, many times, most of the times. Not sometimes, most of the times. Pleasing always involves some sacrifice, some pain, but that's the beauty. And we also experienced in our lives also. Mother loves to serve the children, and she doesn't even feel that she's suffering or she's kind of extending and like that. She always feels a lot of pleasure. That's this one aspect always puzzles me as well. How they serve so much children, at the same time they don't expect anything, and they always feel happy by serving, extending, serving, sacrificing. That's the beauty. So yeah, that takes time, especially when we want to extend our love to towards the Supreme Lord or to our devotees or the devotional service. But we need to travel, we need to practice. So bhakti means to love means to serve means to please. Pleasing involves my pain. But at any cost, we are trying to love the beloved object, Krishna, because that is the constitutional position of all the parts and parcels of the Lord. That is an actual constitutional position. By that only we will be happy, and by not doing that we will not be happy. That's what even in the story of Vyasadeva, the whole section of Vyasadeva, though he wrote so many scriptures, all the scriptures, and the essence of the scriptures he concluded in Vedanta Sutras, still he was not happy. That's what Nardamuni expressed to him. No, you did not glorify the Supreme Lord in the purest way. You should glorify, you should serve him by glorifying him, by delineating the process of bhakti, pure bhakti, then only you'll be happy. Because that is the constitutional position of the living entity. That's what Prabhupada mentioning here, that can be attained only by practice of transcendental loving service. So what will happen by practice when we come to that stage? So that vision will improve. Now our vision is entirely different. There is Charma Chakshu, then there is a Jnana Chakshu, then there is Prema Chakshu. We see our vision is entirely at different levels. Charma Chakshu means we see with our Charma Chakshus. With only mundane eyes, we see the mundane things. Even though we see the deity, many people come to temple, and at different categories of people see differently the Supreme Lord present in the deity form. Those who are mundane people who have sometimes they also visit those who don't have much faith and with is Charma Chakshu. They say with them, oh, Lord is manifesting. No, not Lord is manifesting. Here is the deity, so-called deity statue. It's made up of matter, stone, or wood, or metal. Oh, this is they made out of metal. They made out of marble, like that. They see like that. But those who are a little more advanced or a little more pious, they say, yeah, Lord is manifesting himself here in this deity form. We need to serve him. We need to offer obeisances, pray to him. Little more advanced people in Jnana, in understanding knowledge, they will see, yeah, he's a reciprocation. They will see sometimes, especially those who are on the prema level. They have just like all the Goswamis, they have one personal deities, and the deities they have exchanges. They would have exchanges with the deities, their personal deities. They are manifesting for them also many times, especially the deities of Radha Raman and Radha Gokulananda, Radha Govind, Radha Madan Mohan. All these deities they specifically manifested themselves to their devotees to worship. Yeah, that's the transcendental exchanges between devotees and the Lord. For them, it's not simply a kind of a form which is made up of some stone or wood or this and that. No, for them, it's this Supreme Lord personality standing before them. That's the Prema Chakshu. So that vision of devotee is not ordinary because they are practicing devotion service at the highest platform, and they are completely pure in their heart because it is purified by the process of devotional service. So of course, Prabhupada again coming to the point that just like elements enter, similarly Lord's form enter into the cosmic manifestation, especially in the hearts of devotees. See here the point came. Now Prabhupada expressing how just as we discussed Yoga Swami's commentary that how Lord is entered into the hearts of devotee and also is manifesting before the eyes of the devotee. So Prabhupada here bringing out the point that the Lord also entered, similarly Lord also enters with his all Nama Rupa Guna Leela, what are mentioned in the scriptures, also enters into the hearts of the devotee, factually being televised, in the sense that he is manifesting in the heart, being televised. So televised, how they are able to see the Supreme Lord, all these things in their heart. Just like a frequency, we hear the example of tuning the heart. When we tune into a particular frequency, we will get that frequency, and we will be connecting to that frequency, and whatever is conveyed through that frequency, we will be able to see either TV or radio, right? With channels. Also, now thousands of channels are there nowadays. Whatever channel we are tuning, that channel will be played in TV. So in the heart also, wherever the heart is tuned to, then that will be displayed in the heart. If we are tuning ourselves into Maya's energy, then we will be seeing only Maya's his own way of her Nama Rupa Guna Leela will be enacting in our hearts. But if we are trying to tune to the Shastra and tune to the Supreme Lord's channel by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By these transcendental vibrations and by studying scriptures, we are trying to tune ourselves into the channel of Golok, as Prabhupada mentioned here, and the television of Kingdom of God. channel of Golok. We have, of course, Hare Krishna channel also is there. I am seeing the banner here in our temple nowadays. So that's how we also tune ourselves into the channel of Golok, where we can, yeah, we are trying, but our channel, though we are trying to tune our channel, the channel comes back square. It comes back to the material conditions again. Because we are trying our level best by especially tuning in the morning hours, by making ourselves in the morning program or wherever it's possible, either in temple or home. The morning program is not just the morning program, it's tuning to the frequency. It's not just about the time of the day in the morning. It's programming ourselves. Morning program is not just a program in the morning, but it's programming ourselves, tuning ourselves into the spiritual sound vibration and the spiritual world in due course of time. So that's the main point Prabhupada mentioning. They are manifesting in the heart of the devotee. Actually, the spiritually developed person is able to have television of kingdom of God always reflected in the heart. This is the mystery of knowledge of the personality of God. This is the actual mystery that is explained in this verse. Mateshu aham mateshu. In the hearts of the devotee I manifest. And in the heart of the devotee manifests, and before the eyes also he manifests later on. When the prema intensifies, as explained by Acharyas, that initially the devotee may hear some sound vibrations coming from the Lord, different fragrances of the Lord. This is at the bhava stage, asakti and bhava. Bhava stage especially, he may be, Lord is not seen, is not manifested, he cannot see. But the paraphernalia can be observed or perceived or heard, like that. That happens. Flute or the beautiful fragrance from the order of the body of the Lord. So these are all some symptoms of bhava. And then prema stage, then he is able to see the form of the Lord in front of his eyes. This is the mystery. This is the prema level. So then now this is explained how Lord enters and also Lord manifests himself before the eyes of the devotee in one meaning. And also he enters into the universe. Yeah, he is there everywhere. Just like he quoted the translation of the CC verse, Chaitanya Charitamrita verse. Just like devotee also sees the Lord is present everywhere. And also Lord is in Golok Vrindam. That is one meaning from the text point of view, textual meaning point of view. And also from the second meaning, what Acharyas gave, Prabhupada, that also explained that Lord manifests in the heart of the devotee and also before the eyes of the devotee. That is the second meaning. Okay. So then the Prabhupada explains why prema rahasyam is called confidential. This is called a guhyam. That sar rahasyam. Rahasyam means guhyam. Rahasyam means secret. Why it is called secret? Prema is called secret. In ISKCON and in especially in our Gaudiya Vaishnava, everywhere we see prema, prema, prema. We always hear prema. Right? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said that patra patra vichara nahi stan astan, यही यहाँ देखे तहाँ करे प्रेम दान, यही यहाँ देखे तहाँ करे प्रेम दान. Patra patra vichara nahi. He doesn't see any patra and apatra. He just distributed. पंचतत्वे मिली जगते आसिया, पूर्वा प्रेमा भंडारेरा मुद्रा वो गाड़िया. The Panchatattva manifested and broke down the storehouse of love of God. Purva prema bhandarera mudra ugadiya. So भंडार पड़ा है उसको तोड़ दिया, उसका लॉक जो उसका लॉक को पूरा उसका तोड़ के बांट रहे सबको. So then how it is so confidential? Why it is considered so rare? That is explained here. Please read.
The Lord can award anyone and everyone liberation, mukti, from the bondage of material existence. Yet he rarely awards the privilege of love of Godhead as confirmed by Narada. muktim dadati karhichit smana bhakti yogam. This transcendental devotional service of the Lord is so so wonderful, that the occupation keeps the deserving devotee always wrapped in psychological activities without deviation from absolute touch. Thus, love of Godhead developed in the heart of the devotee is a great mystery. Brahmaji
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. So here, Muktim Dadati Karishit Manobhakti Yogam. Krishna may award mukti, but giving bhakti means awarding prema. Can you say why he doesn't give bhakti? Why he doesn't ordinarily or easily give bhakti? Can anyone say? He rarely awards privilege of love of God. Prabhupada mentions here, as confirmed by Narada. Why he doesn't give? What happens if he gives? Anyone want to say something? Yeah, Mataji, please say.
He gets sold out to the devotee, but he won't give bhakti because he gets sold out to that devotee.
Yeah. As you mentioned, sold out to bhakti. Yes, Mataji. Subhalakshmi Mataji.
But then the Lord has to give himself to the devotee.
Sorry, not clear. Please say again.
The Lord then has to give himself to the devotee.
Yeah, same meaning is conveyed, correct. Lord has to become subordinate to the devotee. Lord has to serve the devotee. When those who have love, Lord becomes subservient to them. Whatever they say, he has to do. There is no option for him. When the gopis say, "My dear Krishna, Mukund, Gopal, please dance. We will give you sweet sandesh." So he will dance. He will dance for their pleasure. So that's why he doesn't award immediately to the devotee the love of God. So that's why, because he has to make subservient himself to the devotee. So that's very rare. That's very rare. But that rarity, anarpita charan chirat karunaya avatirna kalau samarpitum mannato jvalarasam swabhaktim shriyam. So, but still that rarity, that rare bhakti, rare prema, though it's very confidential, very rare, even in scriptures, that's what Prabhupada will explain in this purport. Though it's very rare, very secret, guhya, rahasya, still Prabhupada and all the acharyas and even especially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to distribute that love and that prema for a very cheap price. Cheap price in the sense just by trying to chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, as Prabhupada mentions, and following 4 regulative principles and trying to live according to Vaishnava character and Vaishnava behavior. It's became quite easy. It is very difficult. So that's the main point here. Prabhupada mentioning. Please read this one.
As the Lord's desire is infallible because he is Achyut, similarly, the desires of devotees in the transcendental service of the Lord are also Achyut, infallible. This is very difficult, however, for the layman to understand without knowledge of mystery of devotional service, as it is very difficult to know the potency of touchstone. As touch.
Yeah. This one, just like this. As we are discussing about the rahasyam, the great mystery of love of God, Krishna doesn't give, but at the same time, those who are practicing sincerely and seriously, it will, by practice of devotional service, it will develop. He will not fail to give because he is Achyuta. So whatever desires devotee may have, especially in terms of material desires, he will be purified, and they will be purified by the practice of devotional service, and then Lord will manifest the supreme love, because the love is there in the heart, as Chaitanya mentions. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunoy Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karayavotoy. So Nityasiddha Krishna Prema, the Prema, Krishna Prema is there within the heart of everyone, every living entity. But by the process of Shravana and Kirtana, it can be revived again. So that's what the meaning here. Prabhupada, and he will not be infallible, just like Lord is infallible in his fulfilling transcendental service. Devotees also is not, he will not be fall away to serve the Lord. So that is the mystery of devotional service. But this is very difficult for the layman to understand. The comparison also is given, touchstone example. Of course, the Acharyas gives the same example, touchstone example. Touchstone is like a, of course, we do not see also touchstone. Nobody knows about touchstone much nowadays, also especially. But during Sanatana Goswami, there was a story about touchstone. He had one touchstone. You might have heard also in an OD. That's like he had the touchstone in dustbin, and one Brahmana came and he asked the touchstone. Of course, the whole story is there. Then finally, Sanatana Goswami says to Brahmana that if you throw away this touchstone, I will give the more valuable touchstone. Then he gives the holy name. So that's the potency of the touchstone, is that it can transform anything into gold. Like that, touchstones, Prabhupada mentions here, the devotees are like touchstones. Kotishwari Mahamune. Why devotees are mentioned? Because they are also in their association only we can get to practice devotional service. So that's why Prabhupada is mentioning about association of the devotees here, comparing to Kotishwari Mahamune. Pure devotee is very rare. Those who came to that platform of loving Supreme Lord. Okay, that's what explained by Prabhupada, and then Prabhupada elaborates the same point of pure devotees. How confidentiality of bhakti we are talking here, how it's rahasyam, the bhakti is rahasyam. In that same point in the bhakti rahasyam, then Prabhupada explained about pure devotees point also, how they are very rare. And same point he continues, that how bhakti is rahasyam. He is quoting different verses for that. Sarva guhyatam guhya shrume paramam vachaha. It's all guhya, guhyatara and guhyatama. Superlative degrees. Guhyatamam, a third superlative. Guhyatamam, guhyatara and guhyatama. Sarva guhyatamam bhuya. It's all secret. Idam bhagavatam nama and may bhagavatotam. This is also secret, as explained to Narada by Brahmaji. So this verse is quoted. Okay, please read from here.
Brahmaji
Please
said
read.
to Narada,
Please.
whatever I have spoken to you about the Bhagavatam was explained to me by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I am advising you to expand these topics nicely so that people may easily understand the mysterious Bhakti Yoga by transcendental loving service to the Lord. It is to be noted here that the mystery of Bhakti Yoga was disclosed to Brahmaji by the Lord himself. Brahmaji explained the same mystery to Narada. Narada explained it to Vyasa. Vyasa explained it to Sukdev Goswami. And that same knowledge is coming down in the unalloyed chain of disciplic succession. If one is fortunate enough to have received the knowledge in the transcendental disciplic succession, surely he will have the chance to understand the mystery of the Lord and that of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the sound incarnation of the Lord.
So that mystery, that secret, that guhyatama knowledge, rahasyam, prema bhakti, can be understood if one is fortunate enough to have received knowledge in that disciplic succession. That's why Prabhupada is quoting from. That secret has to be understood in disciplic succession. It's an open secret only. There is nothing called secret mantras, just like the other some religious section of people, they maintain some secret mantras and they award different mantras to their disciples for some money, for some payment. It's no open secret. The Prem Bhakti or the especially Bhakti is open secret, but only when we hear from Guru Parampara in the Parampara system, then only we can understand the real mystery. Otherwise, it's very difficult to. The Mahamantra is always available. Mahamantra, many are chanting Mahamantra, even outside of ISKCON, outside of Gaudiya Math. Many Mayavadis also chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Many know mantra and they will be chanting, but it cannot act unless it is received in a parampara system and it is understood in a proper mood. Benefits will be there. That definitely is always there. That benefits of chanting the mantra, and especially when there is innocent people, the Sukruti definitely is far more. There is always there, but the real goal, real result of the chanting the Mahamantra is to develop our relationship with the Supreme Lord, revive our original relationship with the Lord, and establish ourselves in that relationship with Him. That is the main thing. So that will happen only by hearing in disciplic succession, and then we can understand, and he will have a chance to understand the mystery of the Lord and that of Srimad Bhagavatam, incarnation of the Lord. So this verse is about that one. And the Rahasyam part, how Prema Bhakti is the Prayojan aspect is explained, how Lord plays with energies, how it is answered here in a different way. Lord plays with his energies in both ways. In this material world, he is playing with his energies by giving different forms to the living entities, by entering into the world, all the elements, just like all the elements enter into world and not enter. Same time, Supreme Lord enters here and plays with the material energy, and without entering, and he will be there in the Yogamaya. There he also playing with superior energy, making his different pastimes there also. Here in this world, he is playing with this material energy in the sense that he is creating, is giving the bodies, all the living entities, opportunities to. At the same time, he is also incarnating here in that way. In that way also, he is. We cannot say he's playing as when he's coming incarnations. That is a different form, Apararupa. Pararupa in coming in this middle form. But we cannot say he's playing here. But when he's playing with the material energy, when we say it is Virat Rupa, his creation aspects, this is all play with material energy. And Kridasi. That is called technically this is called Asanga Rahita Krida. Asanga Rahita Krida means without having attachment. Asanga is also Asakti, another way. Asanga Rahita Krida, with this material energy. He is staying as a Paramatma in everyone's heart. Right? Upadrashta Anumantaja Bharta Bhokta Maheshwaraha Paramatme Chapyukto. So there is another Purusha in our heart who is called Paramatma, who is Upadrashta Anumantaja, who is overseeing Upadrashta Anumanta, who is giving sanctioning all the desires of the living entity. Purusha Paraha, he is another personality. Though as a Paramatma, he is neutral. He is Upadrashta Anumanta. So like that, and he is creating all the universes, he is entering all the universes. Asanga Rahita Krida. That's what Vishnu Thakur mentions. In this way, he is playing with his energies. But the moment he starts reciprocating with the devotee, even in the heart of the devotee here, then we need to understand he's not in a Paramatma feature. He's transformed himself into Bhagavan feature. The moment reciprocation comes, the Bhagavan aspect comes into picture, wherever it is. Because Paramatma role is only just to observe and sanction and neutral role. There is no question of any taking action. So that's the Paramatma role. So yeah, he asanga rahita krida. So this is with this creation he does asanga, asakti rahita krida. What he does with yogamaya, internal energy, asanga sahita krida, asakti sahita krida. He does with great attachment, not material attachment in the sense, but with love. He does krida with yogamaya, internal potencies, all the jivas and gopas and gopis and the Vaikuntha world, reciprocations, asanga sahita krida. So that's how he does. He's playing with this internal potency. So in this way, he's playing both energies with both energies. That's what it explained. That how he's playing Kridasi, how you play with your energies. So I play with this material energy by creation and by entering, and with my internal potency, I play in different pastimes. Both are pastimes at different levels. Both are called pastimes only. Srishti Leela and is Rasa Leela. In essence, Rasa Leela, when we say that he's not just doing Rasa Leela in the spiritual worlds, but just to give a contrast. On one side, Srishti Leela, because Prabhupada many times says this, one should understand Srishti Leela before Rasa Leela, just to give a contrast. Because one it's an epitome of the manifestation of Supreme Lord's supremacy in terms of sweetness. Madhurya is a Rasa Leela. So that's why it generally contrasts with this. So we need to, he does with this both Leelas, Srishti Leela and his Adhyatmik Leela, his Rasa Leela, his divine manifestations. So that's how he is playing with these two energies. That's what this verse is conveying the meaning of Rahasyam, the secret. And Prabhupada explained, as we have seen two meanings, that he's entering in the world and playing with his creation material elements in terms of manifesting, and he's not entering also, and he's playing with his internal potency, and he's entering into the hearts of devotee, and he's manifesting lila there in the heart, also in the before the eyes of the devotee. When the prema, when the mature stage comes. So that's how this verse is conveying the prema bhakti aspect. And also in another way, when Ramaji asked, or when Parikshit Maharaj asked Kridasi how he is playing with his energies, this is answer given by the Supreme Lord himself. But it is given in very secret way, very mysterious way. That's why it's called Rahasyam. Sa Rahasyam Tadankam Cha. That's why Lord himself he said it's Rahasyam. Some normal people can't understand, even as Prabhupada mentions. Now, by Mayavadi people, when they understand why how Lord enters and doesn't enter, they can't understand how he's playing with his energies, how he's entering and not entering. That's the mystery of the Bhakti Yoga, Prema Bhakti. Okay. Text 36, the last verse. Etavadeva jignasyam tattva jignasunatmanah अन्वय व्यतिरेकाभ्याम यत्स्यात् सर्वत्र सर्वदा. Please read.
A person who is searching after the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, most certainly search for it up to this, in all circumstances, in all space and time, and both directly and indirectly. Continue, bro.
1 minute.
Purport.
So here, 1 minute, I will just explain the verse and then we continue. Etavadeva jignasam. So, jignasam, one should inquire. Jignasam should be inquired. What should be inquired? Etavadeva. Till this point, one should inquire. Tattva jignasunatmanaha, by the student of the absolute truth. You should inquire about this only by anvaya and vitireka, in both ways, in the positive and negative connotations, negative understandings, both ways. One should understand yatsya sarvasarada, one who is in all spaces and time, and then both directly and indirectly. Anvaya and Vyatireka, yeah, direct and indirect. Understanding is direct and indirect. Anvaya and Vyatireka, Yatsya Sarvata Sarvata. So one should understand one should search after the Supreme Absolute Truth. So that should be our goal. This is called sadhana bhakti. That's what the angam, tadangam cha. Tadangam, what should search? So that the previous verse is saying the goal, and this verse is saying the process, the means. That's sadhana bhakti and prema bhakti. So a person who is searching after absolute truth, especially the personality of Godhead, must try himself, search for it. Search means jignasam. He should, there is endeavor, right? Certainly search for it. Must search for it. So there it lies the meaning that one should endeavor. One should make different steps to go towards it. In all times, all circumstances, both directly and indirectly, must endeavor. So that endeavor itself is called sadhana bhakti. When there is endeavor, when you are practicing, it's called sadhana bhakti. So that's why it's called tadangam, sadhana bhakti. Now please read. Please read.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Yes.
To unfold the mystery of Bhakti Yoga, as it is explained in previous verse, is the ultimate stage of all enquiries or the highest objective for inquisitive. Everyone is searching after self-realization in different ways, by Karma Yoga, by Jnana Yoga, by Dhyan Yoga, by Raj Yoga, by Bhakti Yoga, etc. To engage in self-realization is the responsibility of every living entity developed in consciousness. One who is developed in consciousness certainly makes enquiries into the mystery of the self, of the cosmic situation, and of the problems of life in all spheres and fields: social, political, economics, cultural, religious, moral, etc., and in their different branches. But here the goal of all such enquiries is explained. The Vedanta Sutra philosophy. Continue. The Vedanta Sutra philosophy begins with this enquiry about life, and the Bhagavatam answers such enquiries up to this point, or the mystery of all enquiries. Lord Brahma wanted to be perfectly educated by the personality of Godhead. And here is the answer of the Lord, finished in 4 nutshell verses. From Aham Eva to this verse, Etadvad Eva. This is the end of all self-realization process. Men to do know that the ultimate goal of life is Vishnu, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Due to being bewildered by the glaring reflections in the darkness, and as such everyone is entering into the darkest region of material existence, driven by the uncontrolled senses.
Yeah.
The whole material existence has sprung up.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you. We'll pause here. So here Prabhupada is coming to the point of practice, how we are meant for higher purpose, and but we are not utilizing the human life, which should be utilized for higher inquiry. That's what Prabhupada is explaining, connecting to the previous verse, that we should achieve the goal, we should keep the goal in front, and then we need to inquire for a particular process to achieve the goal. So to unfold the mystery of Bhakti Yoga, as it explained in the previous verse, the ultimate stage of all inquiries are the highest objective of the inquisitive. Objective for the inquisitive. Tattva Jignasa. Atato Brahma Jignasa. Prabhupada many times quotes Atato Brahma Jignasa. We need to inquire because that's the nature of everyone, and even every species also. We have seen many purports also how Prabhupada beautifully presents how everybody, there is a question answers are going on, inquiry is going on everywhere at different speeches also. But the question answers are only mainly in related to pertain to the 4 things: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending only. Generally, 99%. but very rarely about the jignasa. So that's how everyone is searching after self-realization in different ways. So, of course, self-realization, self-satisfaction at lower level, and then self-realization at higher level. Karma yoga, jnana yoga, raja yoga, bhakti yoga. But to engage in self-realization is the responsibility of every living entity developed in consciousness. That means there is a human form of life developed in consciousness, living entity. So, apart from all these political issues, all the above spheres, one need to inquire. But here the goal of all such inquiries is explained. So this is the main point. They should inquire up to this point. That's what the main sloka starts with. They should search for up to this point, up to this, which point? Up to the absolute truth, up to the understanding that I am the part and parcel of God. I am first of all, I am different from the body. I am a spirit soul. I am part and parcel of Lord. I am servant of the Lord. I have a relationship with the Lord. I have to revive that relationship. I have to be established in that relationship. And I have to act in that relationship. So these are all at different levels of inquiry. We need to come up to that level inquiries. That's why Prabhupada is saying that these are all nutshell verses, 4 nutshell verses. Nutshell is like we have like a badam or like a peanuts. They're a nutshell. And when you take out the shell, there will be nuts inside. That is the main product, main substance in those things. Similarly, these four verses are considered like a substance is there in the 4 verses. This is the end. This is the end of all self-realization processes. Of course, Prabhupada mentions how Vishnu, they don't understand. Nate vidu swartakatin hi Vishnu durashaya bhirartamanina. His uncontrolled senses, people are running after. Not only people, I was also running after. But by the mercy of all Vaishnavas and Prabhupada, we are trying to understand what is the real good of life. Bhirartamanina. Nate vidu swartakatin hi Vishnu. Swartakati, our main interest is Vishnu. Main interest is Krishna. That we forgot. That we need to again remember and practice and to achieve that one. Please read this one.
Hare Krishna. Everyone is engaged in various kinds of spiritual inquiries. Srimad Bhagavatam gives answers to all of the various students of self-realization. This ultimate objective of life is not to be searched out without great labor or perseverance. One who is imbued with such sincere inquiries must ask the bona fide spiritual master in the disciple succession from Brahmaji, and that is the direction given here. Because the mystery was disclosed before Brahmaji by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the mystery of all such inquiries regarding self-realization must be put before such a spiritual master, who is directly the representative of the Lord. Acknowledged in the disciple succession, such a bona fide spiritual master is able to clear up the whole thing by evidence from the revealed scriptures, both direct and indirect. Although everyone is free to consult the revealed scriptures in this connection, one still requires the guidance of bona fide spiritual master, and that is the direction in this verse.
So there is a direction given in this verse. One should approach the personality. One cannot, though there may be so many scriptures available nowadays, you can access any personality, any book within seconds on the net. You want to hear any lecture, any topic, any personality in the world, we have the access. But still, just by hearing, we cannot realize the subject matter of, especially the bhakti and the knowledge of devotional service. So definitely we can get some idea, some information we can get. Even Rasa Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, and devotional services, Prema Tattva, these are all different tattvas. Definitely we can understand, understand. But unless we approach the personality and surrender and serve and inquiry, as Prabhupada mentioning here. Such inquiry, the mystery of all and such inquiries regarding self-realization must be put before such a spiritual master who is directly representative of the Lord, acknowledged in the disciplic succession. So we need to tadvidhi pranipatena. That has to be definitely be there. How much we may be accessing the material and content on the net or hearing, unless we internally we take shelter of particular personality who is dear to Lord, who is coming in disciplic succession, we cannot understand the mystery, especially of devotional service. Other things Krishna can reveal, Krishna can give also. The Swargaloka, or the Brahmaloka, the post of Brahma, or even Muktim Dadati, Na Bhakti Yoga. Muktim Dadati Smaran Bhakti Yoga. Muktim Dadati Karhichit Smaran Bhakti Yoga. We need to slowly understand the mystery of devotional service. It's a more of internal process. Bhakti is not just external, of changing the dress, changing the lifestyle. Of course, these are also parts of devotional service. Surely, they are there. They have to be there in order to give us a more conducive atmosphere. We need to have culture. We need to have a particular rituals. But it's more of internal process. We need to develop. The internal surrender is entirely different from the external surrender. So that we need to cultivate. By that Krishna, by that we develop more and more devotional, more prema, more bhakti, devotional service, internal devotional service. Okay. Then Prabhupada explains about interrelation. Now, the verse is saying that we need to inquire by indirectly and directly in all places, sarvatra, sarvada, anvaya, vatirekabhyam, directly, indirectly, we need to inquire about them. So for that, Prabhupada said that we need to approach spiritual master. So what is the interrelation between these three, spiritual master, disciple, and Lord? Prabhupada explaining now. Please read.
Hare Krishna. Interrelation of spiritual master, disciple, and Lord. 1. The bona fide spiritual master is the most confidential representative of the Lord, and one must receive direction from the spiritual master, the same spirit that Brahmaji received it from the personal of Godhead, Lord Krishna. 2. The bona fide spiritual master in that bona fide chain of disciple succession never claimed to be the Lord himself, although such a spiritual master is greater than the Lord in the sense that he can deliver the Lord by his personality raised experience. Third, the Lord is not to be found simply by education or by good fertile brain, but surely he can be found by the sincere student through the transparent medium of the bona fide spiritual master.
So these are the main qualifications of spiritual master and the disciple. Spiritual master must be very conversant with Brahma Jigyasa. He should be very conversant with the spiritual knowledge, and the student should be sincere student, and is a transparent medium. The spiritual master should be a transparent via medium with the Supreme Lord. He has to be in touch with the Supreme Lord, and he is the most confidential servant of the representative of the Lord. He is most dear to the Lord, who is coming in a bona fide disciplic succession, and he never claims himself into the Supreme Lord. So these are all qualifications of on both sides in order to achieve the real goal. Yes, Prabhuji. You have a question? Madan Manohar.
It is second in the second point. It is said in the second point that he can deliver the Lord by his personal real experience. Can you elaborate it? What does it mean?
Although such a spiritual master is greater than the Lord in the sense that he can deliver the Lord by his personally realized experience. Here, the bona fide spiritual master in a bona fide disciplic succession never claims himself Lord himself. Yeah, this point is clear that he will never say that Sakshadaritvena. samasta shastraihi rupta satava vyataya santi. Because he is dear to the Lord, he is not equal to the Lord, but he is Priya. Although such a spiritual master is greater than the Lord, in the sense that he can deliver the Lord, because he can deliver the Lord, because Lord is great of everyone. Because Lord is supreme and devotee is subordinate. How can a subordinate can give the superior to another person? Just like a servant in the house, the owner is there, servant is there, and if someone is coming, the servant cannot order the master to come and meet. Right now, in general sense, that servant cannot order the master in the house or company's employee is there, boss is there. The employee cannot order the boss to come and be in some place or some meeting, right? In material sense, but in spiritual sense, now the servant, what we discussed, bhakti process. In the bhakti process, the servant is given the opportunity to possess the Lord. He has the Lord in his hand, just like Prema purchases the Lord, because the pure devotee has the wealth of Lord in him. He has captured the Lord, he can give the Lord to others. In that way, it's mentioned here. Although such a spiritual master is greater than the Lord in the sense that he can deliver the Lord by his personally realized experience. Yeah, he personally realized the experience of he personally realized the Lord's presence, Lord's beauty, Lord's merciful nature, everything about Lord. Yeah, because pure devotee had, as we read that he is televised in the heart of the devotee. He is seeing the kingdom of God in the television of heart. So he knows everything, and because of his love, he captured the Lord in the heart. He can deliver. That famous verse of one of the Lochandas Thakur's, I think, song. It says that Krishna se tomara, Krishna dite paro, tomara shakati ache. Ami to kangal, Krishna Krishna bole, dayi tava pache pache. O he Vaishnava Thakura, Toyara Sagara. He says that he's praying to Vaishnava Thakur. The devotee is praying to the spiritual master, or the devotee is praying to the pure devotee, the acharyas, that Krishna se tomar. Krishna se tomar means you have captured Krishna. Krishna is yours. Govinda Vishram. Tomar hrdaya sada Govinda Vishram. Right now, we always say Govinda kahe namora Vaishnava Prarana. Govinda says that Vaishnavas are my life. And devotees, in the heart of the devotees, Govinda Vishram, he takes shelter. That's how the one more Vaishnava song is there, where this meaning is conveyed, that how Govinda is saying that Vaishnavas are my heart, and in the heart of the devotees, Govinda is resting. In that sense is mentioned the Vaishnava song. So Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite paro. Because you have Krishna, you can give us to Krishna. You can give me Krishna. Tomara shakti ache, amito kangal, I am a beggar. I am I don't have anything. I beg you to give. So in that sense, he is saying that although such a spiritual master is greater than the Lord, what sense? In the sense that he can deliver the Lord by his personal experience. Because he is experiencing, he is having the Lord in the heart. He is captured by his love. Hope it's making some sense.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Is it okay?
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So pure devotees always, even Bhaktivinoda Thakur songs also were there, one or two songs where he says he is petitioning to the Vaishnava only, because Vaishnavas can only give the access to the Lord. Without that's our whole philosophy. Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy itself is approaching a personality who is dear to the Lord, not Lord directly. And we always say the same thing, even in Guru Vastak also in the morning. We approach through the devotees. Even Krishna also mentions that those who say that those who are my devotees are not my devotees, but devotees of my devotees are actually my devotees. That's what he says to Pandavas in Mahabharata onwards. So yeah, Bhagavato Bhaktadinatvat Bhakta Krupa Anugamani Bhagavat Krupa. It is Siddhanta. The Siddhanta of Gaudiya Vaishnava, the Siddhanta of Bhakti. Bhagavato Bhaktadinatvat. Because the Lord Bhagavata Bhaktadinatvat, he is controlled. आधीन हो गया, भक्त का आधीन हो गया कौन? भगवान. भगवतो भक्ताधीनत्वात्, भक्त का अधीन हो गया. फिर भक्त कृपा अनुगामिनी भगवत कृपा. वे भक्त जब कृपा करेंगे उसके पीछे पीछे ही भगवान का कृपा आएगा. भक्त कृपा अनुगामिनी भगवत कृपा. इति सिद्धांत. That is the main fundamental postulation of bhakti, siddhanta of bhakti. Okay, we are coming to nearing our time. So this verse is a little more bigger. Okay, we are seeing the mystery of. We have seen the mystery, and in this verse, especially talking about how to how to realize that goal, prema bhakti, that is mentioned here, sadhana bhakti, in terms of especially approaching spiritual master, and Prabhupada explaining what the qualifications of spiritual master and the qualifications of the disciple, how one should approach the spiritual master, and then how things are revealed is explained here. Then Prabhupada explains more of the same concept. He's quoting from Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara Sarvabhutana, Desha Sri Brahma Sarvabhutani, Antararvadaya. So one should try to realize the Lord who is in the heart through the parampara system by practice of bhakti. Now this is approaching directly the spiritual master. Now he is explaining. Now he will explain how indirectly how one should search the Lord. Indirectly in the sense how one can gradually also approach. He will explain how by following varnashram system. Till now he is mentioning that the spiritual master one should approach, inquire him, and serve him, and realize the Lord, because he can give the Lord. He has the Lord and he can give the Lord. That is a direct process. Also indirect process in the sense that we purify ourselves in all these varnashrama, following varnashrama system. In the varnashrama line we follow, and then gradually purification of heart, and finally also one need to come to the stage of bhakti there also. So that is kind of more of indirect process, as Prabhupada explaining here. Indirectly it is said that the whole Vedic social construction of human society is so made that everyone acts as a part and parcel of complete body of the Lord. That will be explained now a little bit more. But at the same time, they have to also come to that point. Okay, maybe we will take up in the next class. He's putting Goswami's many verses explaining about the same point, how bhakti and how one should approach the topic of the Supreme Lord, the spiritual master, the process is explained. Where he's quoting many slokas from many scriptures, how one should inquire, how one should search, how one should approach, and how one can realize that ultimate goal. Okay. I think it's a bit lengthy purport, one of the lengthiest purports of these 4 verses. Mostly I think today is the 5th class, I think, of the section. And the 5th class, maybe I think we have 3 more classes. Next class we'll complete this chapter itself. We'll complete this chapter 37 to 46 also, and then we'll start the 10th chapter mostly. Even otherwise also in 2 classes we can cover. 10th chapter is not much big because their creation aspects only again coming up, major part of some part of the chapter. So creation there is not much explanation in the creation aspects, but some topics are quite essential. we can cover in two classes. So in the next class, we'll almost complete this chapter and start 10th chapter. Okay, thank you so much. Gandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Keshav, thank you so much for taking out your time and trying to put so much hard work in trying to explain this esoteric Chatushlokya of Bhagavatam.
It's my
Nice
pleasure.
to-
My pleasure and my purification. Thank you so much for engaging me.
So, yes, Prabhuji. Any devotees have any questions, any comments, concerns, you can ask Keshav. Otherwise, I have some announcements to make for 2-3 minutes regarding our shloka test and presentations. Keshav, Prabhu,
Yeah.
after this your unit gets over, mostly we'll cover one more unit of third canto first unit. Then somewhere in April last week, we are planning to do the presentation.
Okay.
So in one session, like this is Saturday, 2 hours. So each devotee will be getting 40 minutes time. So in that way, 2 hours, 3 devotees can be covered, 120 minutes. So Prabhuji's presentations, myself and you, we can take for around 10 Prabhujis are there. So Saturday 3 and then Sunday 2. And then Mataji is there around 11. So we are arranging some evaluators, like some Grasa devotees who have finished Bhakti Vaibhav. So they'll be taking the presentation for that. So that was one thing. And second thing was whatever pending OBS closed book exams, please try to complete it, because if it starts piling up, you will have attendance for all the sessions. But if all the whole batch completes the assignments together, it becomes easy for us to process your certificates once the Bhakti Yoga gets. Otherwise, what happens is Bhakti Yoga is over. Some devotees have finished all the assignments, and some devotees are asking 6 months time, 7 months time, and then somebody really wants his Bhakti Yoga certificate, maybe before starting some new batch or whatever it is. So we encourage devotees that before we start third unit, whatever pending things are there, because we'll be having presentations for 1 week. Basically, Saturday, Sunday, 2 units will be having presentation. In one Saturday, Sunday, we'll try to complete the whole presentation in April last week. So before that, you try to complete all your pending OBS, CB, and Shloka test. Shloka test is ideally for 20 shlokas, 25 shlokas. But for the congregation batch, we have discussed and made as 10 shlokas. So it's not very big. It's not that 10 out of 10 shloka you have to recite. You attempt. Even if you do translation out of 10 shlokas, you get 50 marks. And 50 marks is for recitation. So even if you recite some 2-3 shlokas, you easily get 60-70 marks. So don't try to avoid giving shloka test thinking that I'll not be able to repeat it. So we want that you all should graduate. We don't want to hold on you and try to keep you, try to make it very strict. And also another thing is, like we have a Bhakti Yoga schedule. This is a certified course from Nimai, and we have to complete it in specific 3 years time. Less than that, 2 years. More than that, 3 years, because it's on a weekend session. So if some other sessions comes, like today Krishna Consciousness came, or some other session is coming, unless and otherwise we decide it well in advance, like Saturday, Sunday, you get the schedule. We have to decide it on Friday itself, so that there are many devotees who are not based in Pune and they are not connected to Pune congregation. They are staying in Mayapur, they are staying in Delhi. So they can also accordingly schedule their schedules. If the class is not there, they can try to fit it with some other engagement. So therefore, sudden on prompto request for the class cancellation will not be encouraged. And if individually, if you want to attend, like Radheshampu's class is there or some other class, you can attend it, especially because Radheshampur is also is one of the main director of BVRV. So in case of he is giving Bhagavatam sessions like Krishna Rasayanam, we can encourage them to attend his class physically or online, provided you attend, here again the recordings of our Bhakti Vaibhav. But that happens when you have at least minimum 75 attendance. Out of the 8 classes, you attended 6 classes, and you want to miss on 2 classes and want to hear Radheshampu's and hear recording. And that missing 2 classes doesn't mean that you attend 6 classes and then 2 classes are gone. No, we are supposed to hear the recordings of that. Basically, it's not the letter of the law, it's the spirit of the law. For giving any exam, we need to, in 2 sessions, 1 chapter is covered. So basically, without attending the sessions, how can you give exam for that unit or for that chapter? Therefore, whenever it is like we have the criteria of GBCs when they come, some things are scheduled. So centrally we take that it is, we will take that, okay, we will try to call off the class. Yeah. Or some, there is some past puja or something like that, which is scheduled well in advance. We can try to postpone the class. Okay, we can try to call off the class. But when suddenly some like Radheshampu's thing is, yes, suddenly you got to know, fine, can attend this class, provided you should be ready to hear the recordings, and your percentage should not be less than 75. Make sure that that means you really prioritize hearing some Vaishnavas, then try to attend regularly. Okay, these are the conditions, and we are going to have the next shloka test for the next 10 shlokas in March last week, so that first, second cantos shlokas are completed. And then in the April last week, we'll be having the presentation. So I'll try to circulate the presentation topics for first and second canto themes. So you can decide that based on that, and try to select a theme and try to submit the topic to Anuj Prabhu by last week of March. Take sufficient one month time. It's 24th of February. You have time till 25th March. Try to submit the topic if you have prepared it, and how to prepare that before, once I give the topics, once this unit gets over of Keshav Prabhu, I will try to give an overview of how to present the topic for the Bhaktivedanta presentation. What all parameters are evaluated for your presentation. I'll be taking that orientation, and then you can decide a topic and prepare accordingly. We'll have 30 minutes presentation and 10 minutes feedback from the group. So we're going to make 4 groups. In the 4 group, 5 Prabhujis will be there. 5 devotees will be there. Prabhujis, Matajis. In Matajis group, 5 Matajis, or 6 Matajis and 6 Matajis. In 2 groups, 12, or 6 and 5, 11, and then 5 and 5, 10. And those Prabhujis who have written the CBAs, OBAs will be eligible for the presentation. Some CBAs pending, OBAs pending, Shloka test is pending. We are not going to allow them time for presentation. Somebody seriously giving the assessments. We are giving enough time till April last week. So therefore, who has not finished, please make it a point to try to schedule with BBRV and try to start giving your closed book exams, open book exams. You have sufficient, almost 2 months time, 24th February to 24th March, 24th April. So only 8 units are over. So you have enough time to complete your assignments. Any devotee has any questions regarding this or comments regarding this?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, the topics for presentation will be given by you, or we need to select?
Now we have a list of topics for first canto. 20 topics are there. Second canto, 20 topics are there. That topics I'll be sending to Anush, or I'll try to put it in the WhatsApp group. So you can go through that and you can select. And somebody is able to select one topic, 3 people are selected. No issue. You can select it, but your presentation should not be the same. It's not that you are selected and all together you are combinedly made and you are presenting the same thing. No. Individually you have to prepare and you have to give, irrespective of what you choose. Content should be different. Once you select your second canto, after that, before we start the third canto, that orientation Monday, just after the one session, last half an hour, I'll try to give time for that.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you.
Okay, so this is a resolution we are trying to make because we want to complete this Bhakti Vaibhav well in 3 years' time. So it's like the first 1 year will get over by this April. So again, 2 more years we are having. So we want to complete the Shloka test, close book, OBA, and then presentations. So that will take around almost 3 hours, 3 years, 2-3 months. Therefore, try to. What happens is suddenly you want to decide to attend something. Now then Anush is a coordinator, and he also has his own coordination of Nityan Sabha coordination, and then his own preparation and his own life. And you call him up, you scream up, and he starts trying to call me up, and I have my engagement from Sundays, and then we have to go back to Gopal Champur and Krishna Prabhu, and then they have to decide, and then so many things are there. So what I have decided is, unless and otherwise you are not giving any assignments, OBAs, close books, if you are giving reasons and just attending and trying to give a reason for attending some other classes, from third canto onwards, you do not continue Bhakti. There are some devotees who have enough reasons not to give the assignments and OBAs and close book. So simply they are attending, but they have genuine reasons. We are trying to give them time, but till April last week is a time for you if you want to continue with the Bhakti Yoga batch. Otherwise, simply attending and not giving exams, not giving OBS, not giving Shloka test, what happens? It becomes it is against the norm of ISKCON Board of Examination. Unit gets over, assessment should get over. Otherwise, when your certification will come, then they will check the OBA, close book, who was a teacher for this, why could not do all these things. So many things will come. So this Bhakti Vaibhav group is for a very serious candidates who really want certification. Okay, so therefore you can try to become very serious in giving the assignments. Many of you have done, many of you are giving regularly, but what I'm telling is whatever pending OBs are there, try to submit it well in time. Okay, Hare Krishna. And anything you have to decide in calling off for the class, please decide it on Friday, before Friday, 2 o'clock. Unless otherwise suddenly there is some emergency, when GBCs like Gopal Krishna Maharaj or Radhanath Swami Maharaj who are visiting to the Pune temple, suddenly the schedule gets mixed up, or they are giving initiation and something like that. You have to attend. That time, that's such emergency that is like excluded. But apart from that, we'll have to be little organized in terms of calling of the classes. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
How many presentations do we have?
4 presentations. First and second canto 1, third canto 2, fourth canto 3, fifth and sixth canto 4. So now we have finished almost 1/4 syllabus of Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, we are having like quarterly assessment. So whatever time you want to finish that quarterly assessment and go ahead, you want to complete pending OBS, CBS, Shloka test. So that is the reason I'm making this announcement.
Thank you.
Otherwise, if quarter gets over, another half, it gets after half, everything is pending, then automatically what happens is if I just allow it now, automatically the number of this participants will reduce. If you don't give the assessments, you'll not be inspired to continue the batch. So we want to hold it and make sure that you give assessments. And it's not very difficult. Little bit planning, patience, and goodness. We can easily do it. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Any announcements, Anushka?
Yes, Prabhuji, I had regarding BVRV portal, so I can put it how to log in. It will take 5-10 minutes. Everybody is okay. Can we do it now or next week?
5 minutes. You're trying to show the demo, huh?
Yeah. Actually,
how to see their exam marks.
Yes, Prabhuji.
They are on the edge of their seat to see that.
So I'll share the link. This link was not working, but then I got a different link. So I'll share this link. So in this link, you have to log in with your email ID and password.
Hmm.
So once you log in, you still won't see anything related to your marks. After that, you have to come to this edit profile. Again, it's not. So go to edit profile, and it's compulsory to upload your photo. And these are the details which are required: name, address, like basic details which are, just keep them ready. And once you fill all the details, then you can go to assessments, and you will be able to see whatever correction has completed.
Can you
And
click on assessment?
yes,
What is visible now?
so today I have completed, so will be visible this thing.
Hmm.
So it will show marks and attendance for each of the units. Whatever.
Yeah, so CB is 84 he has got, then 81 he has got in second. EP means evaluation pending, attendance 100, OB 85 in first OBA. So this is all like remaining are evaluation pending. So you can easily just click here and find out marks for yourself. As and when you see it here, if it's not being reflected here, you can just put a chat in the WhatsApp and tell Prabhuji ours is pending, kindly do the follow. Then accordingly I'll try to see whether what is pending. So this is what it is. Very nicely made. So all of you can go on this link, which we'll put now in the WhatsApp group, try to edit the profile, and you can view your sheets. And for this to do, you also whatever OBS you have submitted, that should reach the BVRV. So make sure that if you send something to Anush Prabhu, that make sure do his follow up so that he has already sent it to the OBA to the BVRV. Or if you're sending it, try to send it with only one name. Don't try to send with your legal name, then send it with your initiated name. Then what happens is BVR people, what they'll do, they'll count your legal name and your initiated name, because they are not Paramatmas. They'll think it has 2 submissions. And 20 people are there, you got 21, so they think that it's fine. But only 10 people might have submitted. So its follow-up will not be done, therefore. Just try to stick to one name. That's it, Anushu.
Yes, Roger. There is one more option here: upload your CB and OBA, but nothing is communicated from BVRV side regarding this. I'll confirm with them whether it has to be used or not. So basically, CB anyways you would be using Google link, which is during the exam. For OBA, I'll confirm, can this be used, or should we continue with the process which we have, the other link?
Okay. Fine then. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Ashwin. Okay, I can end here.
Announcements? Done, Nabru?
Yes, Prabhuji, done from my side.
Yeah, I'll also leave now. So all devotees can have a nice preparation. And this unit test will be the next week after the unit gets over. So please prepare for your CB. And hope you have given the OBA for the 7th unit, which I have taught all of you. When is the submission date for that OBA? Submitted now, Prabhu, already?
Very like 5-6 devotees have submitted.
Try to, whatever is there, you just write it and submit it. You don't have to see whether it will be applied. See, one thing I'm telling you about OBA, na, whatever is in OBA, na, you just go to Prabhupada purpose and write it. Don't think about how much practical it is, who will apply it. Don't go, somebody will accept it or not accept it. What question you asked, just refer to Prabhupada. In your own words, you try to write essay. don't postpone it. Whatever you write, if you are quoting Prabhupada, if you understood the question and you're trying to quote Prabhupada purport and some subsequent sections from Bhagavatam from Prabhupada purports, it's sure that you will pass in OBE. Okay. Please don't delay that, because for the presentations you will have to clear all the OBs and CBAs, then we'll have presentations. So we have enough time now. Try to complete this OBs as soon as possible in the next 15-20 days. Hare Krishna. And if you have any concerns, you can send in the WhatsApp chat if you have any concerns regarding this. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.